Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Spirit Untamed. And I got to see this at AMC Voorhees today. So my third film since going back to theaters, and the second time I was literally the only one in the theater. Which was perfectly fine by me. And one thing I feel like I have to preface here is, I have never seen Spirit. Like the first film in this Dreamworks Animation series, so this was my first Spirit movie. And to be perfectly honest, I don't feel like I really missed, nothing felt like I was, confused because something was set up beforehand, and, I'm just sitting here watching this film, directed by Elaine Bogan, and it's a fine, inoffensive little film that I'm sure that plenty of little girls and maybe some little boys will get a lot of enjoyment out of. For me, I thought it was very serviceable and did its thing, and that was about it. And looking at the animation of this film, it definitely feels like we're 10 years in the past kind of thing, especially compared to what Pixar's doing and the incredible work of Cartoon Saloon and Laika. This, and even other DreamWorks films like How to Train Your Dragon, this feels pretty mediocre in terms of its animation and its look. It doesn't really capture the beautiful plains that Spirit inhabits, and it's an interesting has interesting locations. This film focuses on a young girl, Lucky, played by Isabella Merced, who was Dora the Explorer, and I'm pretty sure she was in that movie, Instant Family, with Mark Wahlberg. And she's her mother dies at the very beginning of the film. Surprise! Like an animated movie, somebody's parent has to die. And she's long estranged from her father, voiced by Jake Gyllenhaal, which Jake Gyllenhaal did this movie interesting. And they reconnect along with her aunt, played by Julianne Moore, and they meet this rough and tumble kind of cowboy guy, Hendrix, voiced by Walton Goggins. So, first off, this is a really strong cast. They got some really famous people to be in this film, and, it's a nice little film. The story really focuses on this young girl trying to connect with her father on this ranch, and she finds Spirit and really connects with this wild horse, and Hendrix wants to steal all these wild horses for his own nefarious purposes, which are just probably nefarious because he really isn't that interesting of a character. So the antagonist really isn't there. And this film is very brisk at an hour and 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. So it doesn't even dig too deep into the climax of this film is pretty quickly resolved. And this, the second act fall into the third act is that, so you're not even they failed, oh wait, no, there they come, we're good. It's the definition of kid pace. But I think it's a really sweet relationship that Lucky and Spirit develop with each other, and everybody's doing a fine job with their vocal performances, even though I don't think they're given a whole lot to do. But in the end, I feel like this is a really solid film that really captures beautiful locales in the animation, but the rest of it, the people are pretty mediocre. It's a pretty cliched story that you know exactly how this is going to play out. There's some fun excitement and action, and the horses running through the plains and stuff like that. Feels very inspiring, and in the end, I feel like Spirit Untamed is probably for an adult a pretty forgettable experience, but I think kids might enjoy it a little bit more than that and might have some fun with it. So if you have some kids, go take them to Spirit Untamed. If you're an adult, I think it'll be perfectly okay and not going to be I hated this movie or thought it was bad, or you're not going to sit there I love this movie, it was so great. No, you're just kind of okay, I watched a movie. And there we go. But those are my thoughts on Spirit Untamed. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.